This discussion will be on our omni-channel base model workflows and features. So this is going to be about JASCI's new approach to faster implementation with a standard set of features and workflows that allow you to go from start to live in a matter of days. So we're going to go ahead and start with just the topics we're covering today. First one is what is JASCI's base model? We're going to explain that in just a moment, everything that's included in it and the intention of it. We're going to talk about the features and workflows that are part of this base model. We're going to talk about the rapid implementation approach that we have, and then also what it takes to get started. What are the first few steps once you start with this base model of workflows? Um, so let's go ahead and talk about what is JASCI's base model. This is our new implementation approach. This is going to use pre-configured workflows that are in a ready-to-go environment. So JASCI has built a methodology of basically popping out a environment for you to set up as your WMS, and to where you just need to simply choose a few things like what your locations are, what your products are, set up your integrations, and you're good to go. There's no more of the having to go through a whole configuration process to all of the workflows that you're going to be using. They come in to JASCI pre-configured. Now, these workflows, these are going to be best practice workflows. So we're going to use those to ensure that we have a proven setup for you. It's not just going to be like the bare bones. We're actually giving you the workflows that can still cater to your different product attributes like lot, expiration, serialization, that sort of thing. But we're giving you what we recommend as our best practice for your type of business. And this is going to be for e-commerce. We have workflows. We also have B2B if you're doing a combination of both, if you're doing some omni-channel, and then also for 3PLs. We have a combination of not only workflows, but also dedicated 3PL features. For example, 3PL billing and a copy client function. So we have all sorts of things that are ideal for whatever your vertical or industry is. The goal of this is for rapid implementation. So we know that there's a big pain point in implementations in the WMS space, right? If you're wanting to get a WMS that can still cater to your business operations, you're usually talking about a significant price and a significant timeline and a significant resource effort involved in getting everything to the finish line and getting that system live. And JASCI's goal is to eliminate a ton of that by giving you this base model WMS that you can have these tools to quickly attach to your style of business and the products that you have and everything. And that way you can get right to testing and training instead of having to go through weeks or months of setup and meetings and everything involved with getting that WMS implemented. And then we also have to assist with that, we have seamless data loading. So there are still going to be things about a WMS that you want tailored to yourself, your locations, your products, your printers, your team members that are set up on the system. There's, a few things that are in there that you still have to configure. And what JASCI's done is we've created seamless setup and loading screens for all of that information. So that way that process can be streamlined as well. So that's what JASCI's base model is. It's not only a set of workflows and features, but it's also an approach to the implementation that we have that make this very easy to perform and rapid. Um, and to talk a little bit more about everything that's included, because you might be thinking, well, if it's such a quick implementation, then what are we sacrificing? What are we compromising? And, it's a fair question. With the base model of JASCI, what we're doing is we're taking all of our most commonly used and best practice features and workflows, and we're putting them in a box for you. Now, if you're talking about where you need to add in, robotics and automation, or maybe you have a very specific feature for quality assurance or something where it's not in one of our existing workflows, and then you still need to work with our team to help, land on what that process you'd like to have is. That's a little bit different. But if you're talking about features that JASCI's already done a million times, that is widely used across our customer base, we're giving you all of that. So we're not compromising any features or functionality in what we provide to you. And I have a little bit of that on the screen here. So inbound through outbound, and then also supervisor tools, we're giving you everything that you will need for a WMS. So on the inbound, the ability to receive by purchase orders, ASNs, containers, returns, blind receiving, you'll be able to receive against all of those different types of data. We'll still have our slotting capabilities, and you can control your different slotting profiles that you associate with particular products, particular locations, and then also factoring things like best fit, not mixing lots, and then also product velocity. So we're still giving you a whole arsenal of slotting capabilities to effectively receive and slot inventory into your warehouse that's optimized for picking downstream. We just give you the system directed put away as well, whether that's putting away to that slotted location or putting away to a new location. On the inventory side, we're still giving you all of the features related to setting up automated cycle counts and what happens during those cycle counts. We give you the workflows for performing those cycle counts. We also give you the ability to do location checks and location holds. The location checks are a phenomenal feature of JASCI if you're not familiar. A location check is basically similar to a cycle count, but it exists when there's a problem at a location. If a picker goes somewhere and they can't pick the product intended, we're going to mark that as a location check and we're going to put a temporary location hold on that location and signal to you that you need to perform that location check to either correct the inventory there or to say that that picker or whoever caused that location check made a mistake and it's all good. So it's a way that the system audits itself. It's like a real-time cycle count that we have. You also get all of your features for replenishment. So you can set up your replenishment controls, where you're replenishing to, where you're replenishing from, what if you're utilizing min-max to base it off of how much is in that location and how much it takes to refill that location. Or maybe you want to set it up based on seasonality or days of inventory. You'll have all of the features there to set up your replenishment rules. And then we also have the ability to do the picking of the restocks or the letdowns, all the same as you would in the full WMS. You have your inventory adjustments and inventory moves in the event that you need to fix things within the warehouse. Ideally, with the way that we allocate picks and the way that we cycle count and perform location checks and those types of things, hopefully you don't need to do too many inventory moves or inventory adjustments, but we still give you those workflows and features for it. This also comes with the ability to do kit to stock and kit to order products. So you can establish the bill of materials or the parent-child product relationship and instructions for these kits. And you'll have the ability to facilitate how many you'd like to build and put into inventory. We also give you full control over lot, expiry, and serial. So that's the prompting of the users to enter or validate the information. And we also have tables that store all of the data related to those. On the outbound side, we give you the full suite of order management. So all of our work type assignments, all of the different work types you might possibly need to set up for your different types of picks and different types of orders. Again, if you need a little bit more information on JASCI's order management, we've done a webinar several weeks ago on how JASCI handles work type assignment, priority, allocation, and cartonization. It's a really nice feature of JASCI that allows you to work seamlessly in an omni-channel or dedicated environment for either e-commerce or B2B processes. We have a great way that we can automatically prioritize work and allow you to operate in a system-directed environment without having to spend tons of hours on waiving or reprioritizing tasks, hunting down pickers, and giving them a list of what they need to pick. All of that is gone with JASCI's order management capabilities, and we give you these capabilities in this base model. You'll have all of the access to that. We do the pick batching and put walls. So if you want to batch picks, whether it's a batch of singles that you're then going to pack out quickly at the pack station, or maybe it's a batch of picks that are going to separate orders that you're going to sort out at the put wall. Again, we've done webinars on that as well. Put walls are an awesome opportunity to save footsteps and save travel time with picking and get a higher throughput by leveraging a put wall to be able to pick in batches and sort them out by order. We also include your cart picking functionality, which will go and actually identify the highest priority picks and give you a cluster or a batch that you're intending to pick based on what orders are out there and the highest priority ones to get picked and packed. We'll give you the case picking and pallet picking functions. So the ability to pick multiple items to a pallet or to pick a full pallet and maybe verify the license plate number of that pallet. These are typically going to be for your B2B, where you're going to be dropping the pallet off to a staging area and loading it to a truck. Again, all of these outbound features we've done webinars on in the last few weeks, so we highly recommend checking those out. This is also going to come with integrated shipping, so the same ability in JASCI to be able to pick and then also pack and ship and handle all the labels, the rate shopping of the carrier and service level. All of that is going to be controlled within JASCI, and you don't lose any of that functionality in this base model setup. And in fact, you'll have self-service screens to set up all of your different carrier accounts and set up all of the service levels associated. So that way, as orders flow into JASCI, if you want to leverage the rate shopping, you can, or we can just make calls directly to that carrier and service level tied to the order. That way, you don't have to use another platform to handle all of the shipping. After you've done the picking and the packing in JASCI, we're also directly handling the shipping right there in those same screens. We also have truck loading and BOL. So on the B2B side, as you load the truck and you want to generate a manifest and bill of lading, we have all of that built right into the platform. So you'll actually get a printable version of the BOL as well as the system data and the lookups associated. We give you trouble order management. So as your pickers go in to pick orders and they hit cut, and they need to bring that order to trouble, or maybe halfway through the pick, there was a hold placed on that order or that customer, we're going to send that to trouble so that it gets dropped off there, and then you can have someone manage the trouble station. That's a really nice piece of JASCI to help mitigate those exceptions, and it allows your pickers to stay picking instead of worrying about errors or issues that they come across. We're also factoring in the compliance labeling. So JASCI has a whole label library with hundreds of different compliance labels that we have pre-built in the system. And we also have a tool that allows you to associate with your various customers that you have, which type of compliance label that you'd like to automatically print out as we drop off those pallets or pick those pallets. So we're going to give you all of the functionality for that compliance labeling. And we just added a really nice tool for associating that to your customers. We also have the packing list and the shipping labels. So there's a whole format to what you need on that shipping label or when the packing list generates. Maybe you have a full size packing slip, but a label size like a 4x6 for the shipping label or a 3x4, whatever it may be. You'll be able to dictate which printers are printing these, and then also which labels are going to be applied at that point in time, which label definitions and sizes. You get all of that functionality in this base model. So that was kind of the inbound through outbound, but there's also a lot of what I like to call supervisor tools that are also going to be part of this whole package. So you'll get part of JASCI's built-in BI tool or reporting suite, which is going to include a dashboard where you can view your snapshots, which are singular metrics of all the work that's out there. You'll have access to the reporting tool, where you can see hundreds of our pre-made reports and tailor them to your liking. You can also email the reports directly out of the system to people directly or on a reoccurring basis. And if you haven't seen our webinar on our reporting tool, highly recommend checking that out as well. JASCI has recently built an AI assisted setup tool. So it's kind of like one of the first steps, and we'll talk about this soon here later in this presentation about setting up the WMS. But we have built this tool that allows you to quickly set up your carts, your team members, your workbenches, all of those things that you would need to kind of tailor to your business and your operations once you get this base model. We have one program, this AI assisted tool that brings you through that whole process. You also get access to Gravity Waveless Work Management, which is a patented program within JASCI. that allows you to create profiles of work for yourself that you can view how much work you have out there. Maybe you like to sort things by the sales channel. Maybe you like to sort it by the carrier that it's going out on, or the route that it's going on, or the truck. Maybe you like to view your picks and your orders different ways. Gravity allows you to not only build profiles that show you that, like a very real-time report, but it also allows you to reprioritize work that is in that profile you build. So if you notice that you have a sale through a particular sales channel that's not necessarily the highest prioritized, but you can identify that you really need to get those out first today, you can go to that gravity profile for that sales channel and boost the priority of it temporarily. So all of the orders that are currently in that profile will be pushed to the front of the line for when we're distributing the picks to the pickers. And if you, again, like I've mentioned through this whole thing, we highly recommend checking out the webinar that we did where we showed off Gravity Waveless Work Management. We also include full labor management, so you'll have the ability to not only view labor scores, but you can also set up the labor standards that the scores will be based on. You can do indirect labor, which is, sweeping floors, prepping boxes, attending meetings. You can actually factor in all of those non-transactional bits of labor into the labor tables so that you have a better view of that employee's full day shift instead of just what transactions they did on JASCI. Um, and so we give you full access to all of those reports and standard setup and labor projections, everything like that. We also have a built-in data loader, so to initially load your locations and products, or if you just wanted to load a batch of orders, maybe you're a 3PL and you have a client that's not integrating anything, and they're basically just sending you their orders. Maybe you just want to load those through a CSV. So whatever type of data it is, LPNs, inventory, orders, products, locations, we have all of those built into a data loader, and we have the templates linked into that data loader, so you can download the template, put your data, matching it, and then quickly upload it to JASCI. We also give you all of the tools for warehouse setup, like your carts and your workbenches and your printers and all sorts of things like that. And then team member setup, we give you the tools for as well. So you can rapidly set up new team members and provide them with their logins. We give you the full setup screens for integrations, whether that's for orders and inventory transactions and products and such, or also the carriers that you're integrating to for the parcel shipping. And then for 3PLs, we give you a whole suite of 3PL tools, including the ability to add new clients. We also have a tool for both 3PLs and other customers where if you're adding on a new building or a new fulfillment center, we have a copy fulfillment center tool. And then for the 3PLs, we also have the ability to rapidly set up their billing rules, which is also built into our AI setup tool. So all of these things, these are all included within JASCI's base model. So there's no compromise of features or functionalities. This is really a new groundbreaking implementation approach assisted by tools that we've built to quickly provide you with your WMS environment. So to talk a little bit more about those workflows that are included, I listed a lot of different features and flows. On the screen, I have an example. I have three different images here. On the left, you can see what is a process flow, and that's basically everything that's happening within JASCI, whether it's an operator step that they're prompted with on the screen, or maybe it's an internal check that we're doing against the scan or the data entered. And then also if there's errors and things like that, they're all highlighted here. It's a very complex diagram of everything that's happening in the back end of a simplified workflow. So we'll provide you with all of those. So if you wanted to get at a very granular level and see what is occurring in this workflow, you can. But we'll also give you a simplified version, which is this second image right here, these blue boxes that are kind of just pointing. And this guides you through what that employee's steps are going to be. So enter workbench, and we'll also give you descriptions of what all of these things mean within JASCI. A workbench is going to tie you to certain printers and behaviors of what you're allowed to do. It's kind of like a way that we can tie that employee to a certain set of attributes and printers. And on the receiving side, in the example I have here for PO receiving, that's going to be the label printer that you're associating with that you want your put away labels to print out of. That's going to be your workbench. So this, this guides you through what the employee needs to enter. They enter a PO, and that's what you can see on the screen here is I just entered in a PO, and then we have our scan product prompt. So you'll have screenshots and you'll have like this simplified guide, and then you'll also have the detailed process flow of all of these workflows that are in JASCI from inbound to outbound, and also breakdowns of how the slotting and allocation logic work. Because those really aren't, even though they are workflows in JASCI, they're not really like workflows that you're going to be having a user interacting with or anything. It's more of a back end process. And we'll actually explain to you how those can be set up and sequenced. So this is, I just wanted to show an example of what you are getting. It's not like we're giving you a dumbed down flow with this base model. We're actually giving you our industry best practice flows. But our goal is to have a rapid implementation by matching yourself to these workflows. And then if you need to change small things about either your products or what methods you can receive by. Maybe you don't want to allow for receiving by eaches and only cases, pallets, something like that. We have individual settings that you can configure without having to go and rebuild the workflow. So again, this is all about rapid implementation and painless implementation as well. So on the topic of rapid implementation, our whole goal is to remove the headaches and the learning curve, and then also the cost associated with having a team constantly for months on end, working on configuring and testing and implementing this WMS at a very slow rate. So JASCI provides the self-service tools within itself to allow you to set up kind of on your own time and then also to easily guide you through what needs to be configured about the WMS. We will provide you with resource for assistant, but overall, there's way less resources involved in the project. And that's from both sides. You don't have to have these large meetings with a ton of people on them and where everyone's an individual expert and, it's very, very slow process. There's way less of a dependency on JASCI for you to be able to get your WMS to go live. We give you all the documentation. We give you the how-to guides, and like we just mentioned before, we give you those self-service programs to easily set this up to match it to your operations. And overall, that gives us a better cost and time to value. So again, it's going to be quick and easy to set up, which overall is going to be a lower implementation cost and a lower time frame that it takes to implement. Maybe you have a certain season that you need to make sure you get your WMS in and trained and everything on. This is going to allow you to better plan for that instead of having to put things on pause for that season and restart or get back to the project after that season expires. Which we've seen a lot of in the WMS place. A lot of the customers that have come to JASCI, that's exactly why they've come. They've had implementations that just took too long and they fizzled out. So this is our whole goal, is to give you the ability to rapidly implement. So let's talk about what you need to do once you get JASCI's base model. The first thing that you would have to do is submit your information. That's going to be about your company and about your warehouse, and this is for us to factor into the setup. So you have a proper company name, company logo, etc. You'll have the tools to go in and edit that in the future if you decided that you needed to change how something is named or a description and addresses, things like that. And then you'll receive your login based on that information, which just takes a few minutes for you to log in. You'll actually be prompted to enter your own password instead of the one that you're just generically provided with. And then you'll be able to set that profile to be up for yourself. And then you want to log in with that new profile and load your data. I mentioned our data loader tools that we had before, so we'll provide you with the templates, but you can also download the templates from JASCI's data loader program. And then that's where you're going to put your locations, your products, and your inventory into. And then it's just within a minute, basically, it loads all of that data within to JASCI. So then you have your flows, your locations, your inventory, your products, it's all there, basically ready for you to just connect your integrations and then start testing. Now, I mentioned a little bit about the ability to tailor our base model workflows to your operations, and that's what I have at step 4 here, which is going to be to use the AI setup tool. So this is going to allow you to walk through setting up other team members. It'll bring you through setting up your workbenches and tying them to your printers that you have. It'll walk you through setting up your labels. If you need to print LPN labels, anything like that, it's also going to have features in there for it. So all of those initial kind of, make JASCI match your operations type of stuff is going to be part of that AI setup tool, and it brings you through step by step to set those up. Then you need to connect your integrations. Now, this could, if you're ready for this, if you're properly prepared with the data and the integration ability, some of these steps are only going to be a handful of hours instead of what used to be days, weeks, possibly even months. That's again, JASCI's built up these self-service tools and easy to configure tools. But it also is, you have the responsibility of being ready, being prepared with your locations that you want to upload or your products you want to upload, your inventory, knowing what your host system is that you're integrating with. And we provide you with all of the interfaces so you can know which interfaces and what data fields are there. And once you've connected your integrations, you're going to want to send test orders, whether that's through the integration itself. Hopefully, it is if you've set up your order integration and your purchase order or ASN integration. And if you don't have that fully set up, and maybe step 5, you need a few more days on because you need to, prepare a little bit more internally, then you can still upload test orders with our data loader program, which is step 6. So whether you're integrating those orders or loading them through the data loader, that then gets you to the point where you can fully test the system. Since all of the workflows come pre-configured, you'll be ready to go and test on any of them. So once you've declared that you've everything has passed your test with the orders that are integrated, you're seeing that you're getting your shipment confirmations and your receipt confirmations to your host system. Then at that point, you want to go ahead and train your staff and go live on your schedule. So we aren't going to have a whole conversion of going from like a sandbox to your live environment. All you really need to do is just turn on the lights for your integrations and integrate real orders, and you'll be able to start using JASCI. Now, JASCI's support and team will still be available through this whole process, but we've taken the reliance part of it out of the equation because a lot of the times that's why these WMS projects drag out so much, is because you have to have so much reliance on that team that's implementing it. So what we've done is we've created tools that are going to make this a much easier and faster process, to where you can have a simple get started approach to this once you get your environment. So if anybody's curious about the base model, if anyone's curious about, a trial of this, please reach out to JASCI. This is a brand new approach that we're taking to WMS implementations, and we've already seen early successes with it, and we're very excited to bring this to the market. And again, you're with the base models, you're not losing any features or functionalities, and what you're gaining is your time back and way less of a cost and headache to a WMS implementation. So hopefully everybody enjoyed the webinar today. We're going to end right at 12:30, right on the 30-minute mark. And if you had any questions, feel free to put them into the chat, or feel free to reach out to us after you've viewed this, and we're always happy to answer your questions.
Thanks, Joe, for running through all of that. I don't see any questions in the chat at this moment in time. So
Perfect.
I hope everyone enjoys the weekend and we'll see you on the next one.
All right. Thank you. Take care.